Welcome into a Red Zone edition of Training Camp Live, presented by American Airlines. Alongside Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Youmans. Glad you're with us, and we have got the Chargers' #1 offense, Justin Herbert and company, going up against the Cowboys' defense, of course, led by Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Leighton, Vander, Esch, and a slew of your favorite Cowboys. This is Red Zone. We are inside the 5-yard line on first down. Here's Justin Herbert in the shotgun, and a handoff. That is Joshua Kelly, the former UCLA standout, and a great job of Anthony Brown of pushing him to the sideline.
These guys did a great job of just staying where they needed to be, making sure they have their keys, identify exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and here they go trying to get back on the ball, trying to quick set the Dallas Cowboys.
Trying to. Let's see if it works. We'll play action. Now it's Herbert rolling out, looking for somebody in the end zone, and he found someone. It was Keenan Allen. Worked his way open just in the back of the end zone in time for Herbert to find him.
That was a magic trick, Kyle. That was a magic trick. He simply stood there in the back of the end zone. Diggs was facing him with no awareness of where the ball was. And then all of a sudden, that connection between the QB1 for them and their #1 receiver just showed up right there for a touchdown.
It's going to work out sometimes. And
sometimes.
If anybody's going to beat you, it would probably be a guy like Keenan Allen, entering his 10th year in the league. He's made 5 straight Pro Bowls. Still 30 years old, but, I mean, goodness gracious, he has been playing as good as anybody. He set a Chargers franchise record, breaking his own record last year with 106 receptions for L.A. Here's Easton Stick under center at quarterback. And a handoff to Larry Roundtree III, and he got in there. Looked like there was a little pushing and shoving underneath. What'd you see on that play?
I saw Dante Fowler take off like Roy Williams played when he was playing for Oklahoma. He just took off and jumped over the doggone pile. Can't do that in these drills. It's supposed to be just a thud up or tap off, but he was excited. He
just got some physicality. That's all it is.
That's all it was.
That's all it is.
Glad nobody got hurt.
Roundtree back in the backfield again as Easton Stick at quarterback. Israel Mukuamu, Nashawn Wright, Marquise Bell, Luke Gifford on defense. Thrown over the middle, and it's Josh Palmer at the 5-yard line before he's wrapped up by Wright.
This is really good work for the Cowboys, simply because down here in the red zone, we already talked about in previous segment that down here there's not a lot of room. So what teams are starting to do in this league, especially teams that have weapons like the Chargers, they take tight splits. They really condense things down, which gives them more space on the outside to run these outbreaking routes, these combination 2- and 3-man combination routes, which allows them to have easy passes, high precision passes, just like you just saw there. They just move the chains a little bit.
Just a tad. Makes it 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line. Heavy tight ends, 2 tight ends to the near side of the formation. They put Palmer in motion. Handoff, slip behind the line of scrimmage. Larry Roundtree, it was Wright that got in there quickly. I think he might have been taken down behind. It would have been tough, though. What'd you think?
I didn't see it. I saw it, but I don't see him making that tackle. You like to see the cornerback position, okay? Nashawn Wright, as big as he is, you still want to see him with the outside to inside leverage. Never, ever let anybody who has a ball in their hand get outside of you when you're supposed to be the last line of defense. You got to keep that outside shoulder, outside their further shoulder, and force things back into the other 10 guys that are playing on your side of the ball.
Yeah, really, when you get a second to look at that and think about it, looked like he was on his back hip, and when you're trying to touch somebody up, you really want to have the leverage. Didn't have a great angle there. It might have been a touchdown for Roundtree getting to the pylon first. So looks like Red Zone starting to wrap up here. We may have some more coming up here in a little bit in terms of moving the ball, and 2-minute drill offenses are something's on the docket coming up between this first-team offense and the first-team defense. What have you seen so far in this practice, Isaiah, that has really caught your eye?
DaRon Bland, and not only just DB, but some of the other guys in the secondary, they're really staying in the hip pocket of these receivers. We've been seeing some completions, of course, and that's going to happen in the setting where guys are not tackling. Nobody's getting hit. There's no threat of the ball getting broken up. But it's encouraging to see that there's not a lot of space when guys are receiving the ball.
So it looks like we're moving into 2-minute drill. Moving the ball, end-of-game scenarios here. This is exciting. This is good stuff. This is where the work really gets intense. What are you looking for as a quarterback? I'm a former quarterback in trying to accomplish in this drill from both sides.
This is communication on both sides. This is your offense being able to move the ball down the field effectively, get your offensive line in the right protections, receivers running the right routes, and then defensively.
Oh, and Leighton Vander Esch in coverage works back and makes the interception. How about that? The communication working out and paying dividends for the Cowboys D.
Discipline. being where you're supposed to be, making sure that you get out to the flat route, and then understanding what concepts could possibly come in your way. Because it's 2 minutes, you know guys are trying to get out of bounds. There's going to be a lot of outbreaking routes. He got his eyes back, took full advantage of the former All-Pro, and he was able to get a doggone interception. That's good stuff, Vander.
How about that? Leighton Vander Esch on the second play, or what was that, the first play from scrimmage of the drill?
Loved it.
Goodness, how about Leighton Vander Esch making an impact in the first team just like that off the field in the end-of-game scenario?
And once again, the pre-practice drills that we talked about, the opportunity that Gifford missed earlier, Vander Esch said, linebackers, we need to get this one back.
It's not even tips and overthrows. It was just great awareness from from Leighton Vander Esch to put a foot in the ground and change direction.
Freak octopus hands, man, suction cups. That was awesome. Diving catch, too.
No doubt. Vander Esch had the one interception last year. He's got one in practice today. Here's Chase Daniels. Let's see what he can do. Daniel, veteran quarterback, 14th year in the league, originally out of Missouri. Throwing over the middle, that one into coverage as well, and it was Wright that knocked it away. It was broken up while trying to get it to Jalen Guyton, the former North Texas product, but nice job by Nashawn Wright sticking on his man.
That would have been a coverage sack. Had this been live bullets, that would have been a coverage sack. There's no way in the world he would have been able to sit back there all that time. These guys forced him out the pocket. He tried to backpedal and find a guy late and across the field, which you never do as a quarterback, and they made him pay for it. Almost had another interception.
Instead, it's 2nd down and 10 as we continue on the end of game. 2-minute drill here from Costa Mesa. Daniel. That one complete to the far side. Looked like DaRon Bland was the cornerback in coverage. Resetting. Daniel again lofted over the middle, and there's a big hit over the top. Looked like Tyler Coyle laid the hammer down. And instead, Camp Moyer still made the grab. He was able to get right back up.
He got right back up. That was just a little, I'll see you on Saturday. That's what that was. I'll see you on Saturday from Coyle. That was good stuff.
Coyle's going to see a lot of playing time come Saturday night, and that may be a connection we see again. Camp Moyer over the middle as a tight end, 4th-string guy, still trying to make the roster, and held on to the football. Nice job by him, but Coyle wasn't letting that one go, even in practice.
He gave him a little love tap, and you knew it was a love tap because whatever those little padded helmet things they have on almost came flying off. So I would love to see what would happen in the game situation. We might see 2 parts of them laying out there on the field.
Woo. Still a 1st down or 2nd down after the spike. Now Daniel wants to go deep. Has coverage. There were 3 Cowboys around. Marquise Bell, Jabril Cox, DaRon Bland. Really no opportunity for the Chargers to find an open receiver.
And here you go. Number 14 showing up again for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, this is just practice, but it's very encouraging for the linebacker, last year's draft pick, Jabril Cox, the linebacker who coming off the ACL injury, for him to be able to carry a receiver down the field that far is very, very encouraging.
He's looking for DeAndre Carter, former return specialist turned wide receiver who took about 5 years to work his way into the NFL, but has stuck around since then. 3rd down and 10. 2-minute drill, end of game scenarios. Daniel, far side, completes it to Everett, out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it.
That would have been a sack, Kyle. Dante Fowler did a great job of isolating on the offensive left guard, and he was able to slip him, get in there. He pulled off, obviously, because it was in practice. You can't touch the quarterback. They're off limits.
Oh, of course.
Right? But in the game situation, that'd have been a back problem.
Trying to see where they'll mark it. I guess they marked it as a 1st down to keep the drive alive, but I'm right there with you. I think it would have been a sack pretty emphatically by Fowler Jr.
And Fowler needs to continue to show up in that regard. It's not a sure thing simply because his old coach brought him onto this roster. He's still in a very competitive room.
Moore and Bandy in the formation at wide receiver. Daniel with the hard count trying to get somebody to jump on the far side. Looked like it may have worked.
A little too anxious. They're doing a lot of hard counts right now, trying to steal some easy yardage. You got to understand, especially as you start getting closer to the goal line, when you have these red zone situations, if you can get a guy to jump just off of your cadence alone, that's 5 yards. That's one less play you have to run to get that much closer to an opportunity to score a touchdown.
Looked like it might have been Dorrance Armstrong that was caught on that one. Chauncey Golston out at the edge. Dante Fowler Jr. rushing straight through the middle, but there's a flag beforehand going the other direction on the false start.
Give us those yards back.
just back and forth.
Give it back.
So now we've got a little bit of a lull here on first down. Both teams getting flagged a couple times. That time it was Foster Sorrell.
I think they're working together to get themselves a little extra breathing.
Think so?
Yeah. One penalty on defense,
Collusion.
one penalty on offense. Yeah, I think so.
It's not too hot out here. It's just just over 80 degrees. Not too bad. Daniel with pressure off the edge. Osei Odighizuwa almost got in there. DaRon Bland got in there. Interception in the end zone, so the defense on both the first and second teams come through with a pick.
I love it. I might as well just go ahead and join his fan club because this dude just keeps showing up. He showed up in a preseason game. He's been showing up all week in practice in these competitive collaborative practices. This dude has started to gain his confidence. I'm going to keep saying it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If Jay Lou steps out today because of an injury, he steps into the fold, and he continues to make plays. Really
looked like there was pressure off the edge. Osei Odighizuwa got there, really forced Chase Daniel to throw that football, and he dropped it a little bit underthrown, and DaRon Bland was there. Great coverage, great play, and the interception to wrap up what looks to be the end of the second practice here from the Chargers training camp, Costa Mesa, California. So, Isaiah, let's talk about what we've seen today. It looked like yesterday defense was dominant. Today, that continued just as much.
These guys are matching the energy. I think last week was a wake-up call for them. You know, sometimes that's needed. Sometimes the coaches even want that to happen so that you can get punched in the mouth and you can see how your team's going to respond. Those guys got punched in the mouth last week. Here they are responding to it.
What did you think about the offense and what you saw? I mean, we didn't get to see any here on this training camp live. If you want to go see what the offense did yesterday, there's 4 videos up on DallasCowboys.com. What did you see from them this week?
Those guys are making plays. You know, the offensive line seemed like they woke up a little bit. Obviously, some of those holding penalties from last game, Coach Philbin's been obviously in their ear, making sure that they don't continue to reoccur. But that's something that you like to see continue to develop and to see how they respond this week's game.
So the next time the Cowboys take the field, it will be at SoFi Stadium coming up on Saturday, 9 p.m. Central Time kickoff. Catch Countdown to Kickoff at 8 p.m. Central. Isaiah and I will be on both of those shows. Should be a whole lot of fun this weekend from L.A. Plenty more to come on DallasCowboys.com as well, but for Scott Purcell, for Alex Lilly, and our entire crew back at the Star in Frisco, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long here from Costa Mesa. Training Camp 2022 on the California's West Coast comes to an end.